Alright, so chat, we got ourselves a tier list here. I'm gonna throw some music on. Where is my, do I have a 16 by 9? Person now playing game. Just gotta make sure that this goes underneath this right here. Okay, cool. Oh, wait, hold on. Never mind. I do have one. Alright, chat. We have ourselves a grass type Pokemon tier list. And here's the thing about this. We're not ranking them by whether or not we like them. We're ranking them based off of their edibility. Like, okay, Michelin Star is the top tier. Like, this is a Pokemon that I would absolutely be like, this is perfectly fine to eat. What are my qualifications here? I eat a lot of vegetables. Alright. Can we use botanical reasoning? Maybe. But, you know, I'll use my judgment here. Beat row. I need to change the color on this row. And this row right here is gonna be down in red. The F tier is gonna be... That's just a fucking animal. Are we going based off of appearances for edibility? Thank you for using this music specifically. Yeah! Probably, look, my criteria is if it looks like I can eat it, I can eat it. Let's see. There's a tier that's just gonna be... That's poison, honey. They're eating poison tonight. Gotcha. You can cook some poisons out. Okay, maybe not that's poison, honey, but that's... Alright, so let's see. Poison's just spices, exactly. I was gonna say that this tier was gonna be a little too suspiciously, you know, animal-like, but, that's probably just gonna go for that's just a fucking animal. You know what? I will actually add a row above. We're just... That's poison. And I do put it in my salad. Is like, that's not my absolute first choice, but it's pretty good. And then, like, there's a daily driver vegetable, you know? Not sure why this isn't centered. Would you eat a Quilladin's cupule? I don't know. That's why we're going to Bulbapedia for anything I don't really remember all that well. Alright, so we have our tier list to start here. S tier is Michelin star. I would eat this in a heartbeat. That is a delicacy. That is perfect. Daily driver vegetable. You know, there are some vegetables that aren't super exciting, but like, they are so delicious that you don't fucking care. And I do put it in my salad. You know, maybe these two are the same category. What do you think, chat? And then, not my first choice, but if it's the only thing on the menu, I guess it'll do. Like, if there's any vegetarians in the audience, or even pescatarians in the audience, you know that there is, like, just sometimes restaurants you go to where you just have one fucking thing on the menu. And it sucks. But you gotta eat it because it's the one thing you'll have all fucking night. That's what that tier's for. That's poison. Delicious. It's potentially dangerous, but like, you know, I have this like special tier here for like, how often is it a pretty plain mac and cheese? Not as often as you think unless you're at a barbecue place. And even then, it's usually between pretty shit mac and cheese and pretty shit salad. Then that's poison. Inevitable. And then I forgot what I was going to add into this row here. I think that was like a little too sentient. And then that's just an animal. Like, I can already tell you who's going into that's just an animal. Where are you? There you go. Currently, in the That's Just an Animal tier, we have Deerling, Sawsbuck, Go-Go, and, hold on, what is Go-Go horns? Go-Go. And, Skidoo. Okay, Skiddo. Sorry. Skiddo. Like, I can't eat that! Look at that! I can't eat that! Oh, also, something that will immediately go in. Whimsicott. I ain't eating that! I ain't eating that! We'll probably get to the others when we get to them, but alright, let's start. Bulbasaur, I am between a little too sentient and that's just an animal. The bud on its back would probably make for a decent, like, spice. Alright. It's part poison, yeah. That's why I'm like... immediately, all Venusaur go into... That's poison. Inedible. What is that last Venusaur? Gigantamax Venusaur. That is just straight up a Rafflesia. Like, that is inedible. Alright, here we go. Here's gonna be my little, yeah, Vileplume's also a Rafflesia. I'm between Daily Driver Vegetable, and I do put it in my salad for, Oddish. Oddish is a bit of a Daily Driver Vegetable, I'm not gonna lie. Oddish is just like chives, onion. Like, who doesn't, like, an onion is just the perfect accoutrement to things. Gloom, that's poison. That's poison. Blossom, however, and I do put it in my salad. Because, like, that is a hibiscus flower right there. I think Gloom may be edible. I don't know, it's blooming into a Rafflesia, so it probably already smells like dead flesh, and it's part poison. Whereas Blossom loses the poison type. And here's the thing about hibiscus flowers, I don't want to eat them on their own usually. Oh, it's got sweet scent, right. Like, I don't think that... Yeah, like, I know peppers are poisons, but also... Okay. You know what? I will reluctantly put Gloom as not my first choice, but if it's the only thing on the menu, I guess I'll do it. Vileplume's unchanged. That's a fucking Rafflesia. You could probably cook out the impurities from a Gloom, so it's either poison delicious or not my first choice. We've had no Michelin star Pokemon yet, but like... Oddish is super close because, like, it's onion. Alright, Paris. Weirdly enough, it straddles two categories. Between Michelin star and that's just an animal. The mushrooms on its back? Oh, I would eat those. Wouldn't Oddish be a radish, though? Shit, you're right. Right. What are Voltorb and Electro doing here? This is a Gen 9 thing. I would... Parasect? Michelin star. You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, those are probably some Gen 9 things. Mushrooms are delicious. Mushrooms are my favorite vegetable. Unironically, chat, if you want, like, a way to my heart, mushrooms. Oh, Hisui and Voltorb, okay. Mushrooms are so flexible. You can do so much with them. They have such great texture. Just, ugh. I love mushrooms. Thus, we have our first Michelin star Pokemon of Paris and Parasect. And the thing is, if I were eating meat, I would still eat these because bug and also, you know, mushroom. When calm, it does not stink. It was described as having sweet honey or nectar. Okay, interesting. I'm still keeping it in my spot here. Do we look at Pokedex? I mean, I could if I'm curious. Like, I'm gonna do so for Bellsprout. A carnivorous Pokemon that traps and eats bugs. It uses its roots to soak up needed moisture. Prefers hot and humid places. A bug-eating plant that hunts small insects. Let's see. It's fast. Its butt looks like a human face. I think that a Bellsprout is also not my first choice, but if it's the only thing on the menu, I guess I'll do it. Now let's look at Weepinbell. So, I have a confession to make, chat. I fucking love Weepinbell. This was one of my big favorites back in the day. I forgot it was number 69. Bellsprout is number 69, yes. It spits out poison powder to immobilize the enemy, then finishes it with a spray of acid. The thing is, it's poison. This is poisonous. It has a toxic powder. But I can imagine you, like, cutting into a Weepinbell and just, like, kind of roasting it. Making sure to drain certain elements of it. Unironically, you just gotta cook it for a long time. That's poison, but that's delicious poison. Victory Bell, on the other hand, that's poison but inedible. Like, also, it will scream at you if you try to cook it. A poisonous plant! And then we have Mega Victory Bell, which should just go into the tier of, like... Let me take a look at Mega Victory Bell, actually. Look at them. Chat? You may not like it, but this is what peak perfection, this is what peak form looks like. The volume of this Pokemon's acid is increased due to Mega Evolution, filling its mouth. If it's not careful, the acid will overflow and spill out. It's a poison acid bag, and I think that when you let them mature, so if you let like a regular Victory Bell survive, that is too poisonous. The edibility is based off of me eating them. They're basically pre-marinated, yeah. Alright, so we have to look at Voltorb and Electrode, the Hisuian versions. An enigmatic Pokemon that appears to have a resemblance to a Pokeball. When excited, it discharges an electrical current stored in its belly, then lets out a great uproarious laugh. Yeah, it looks wooden. Okay, I need to add another category, chat. Wow. For that's wood. We do eat the wood of some trees. Haha, funny joke, so clever. Anyway, that's wood. Like, we do eat cinnamon, yes. But, like, I would not be above... Like, we don't normally eat wood like this. Execute. That's a Michelin star. That's eggs, baby. They're also sentient, though. But I'm not a vegan. Yeah, it's X egg cute. I'm good at typing. If Sudowoodo is not on here, I will be sad. Sudowoodo is a rock type. And a tree. Technically, it's a fake egg, yeah. Often mistaken for eggs, when disturbed, it will quickly gather and swarms and attack. Let's see. Yeah, that's the whole pseudo part. Pseudo. It is a fake egg. Not to, actually. The thing is, it's still a plant. Have you heard of sago wood? Yes. Sago wood is cool. It's pretty interesting. Fake tree doesn't count, but fake eggs do. Listen. I don't know where they get vegan eggs in the Pokemon world, basically. And honestly, I'm still thinking of Michelin star here because have y'all ever had like just egg patties? They're fucking good. Executor. We got coconuts now. If you grind up Hisuian Electrode, do you make Sago? Maybe, but also the thing is about that, like, the reason I'm putting it into wood is because, like, there's other uses for wood besides for just eating in culinary use. Like, you can use certain types of wood to smoke things. And imagine smoking some tofu with, like, a Hisuian Electrode. Executor is a coconut. argue for their sentience because they're psychic and really smart, but the thing is, you know, legend has it that on rare occasions, one of its heads will drop off and continue on as an execute. Let's look at the Sun and Moon one. Each of its heads has its own will. How much sawdust can you put into Rice Krispie treats? Delicious. So, execute, I'm putting into, okay, because some of these are also fruit, so... Tropius would probably taste really good. And I'm putting a Alolan Exeggutor in the same category. Because, chat, coconuts are difficult, but they are very delicious. Tangela! Hi, Reed. Hi. You did. We're talking about eating Pokemon. This is Theo's fault. It's a vine. Like, you wanna know what kind of vibe I get from Tangela? You know zucchini noodles? They're covered in a growth of vine hair. Spaghetti squash without the squash, yeah. They seem very difficult to cook. Like, Tangela and Tangrowth are absolutely just like noodles. So I'm tempted to... I'm between Daily Driver and I do put it in my salad. But like... it could be like cutting hair and you eat it. You know what? You know what? You know what? Because it's a staple, Michelin star staple. They're noodles. Leafeon's here. That's just an animal. That's just a fucking animal. Do we actually eat vines IRL? Think of it less like vines, okay? I don't know why Leafeon was already here, but they are vines, I know. Asparagus and celery are kind of like vines, exactly. Maybe I'll bump them down to Daily Driver, or I do put them in my salad. All evolutions are just fucking cats and dogs, you know? All right, Chikorita. Oh, Chikorita. Chat, I love Chikorita. I fucking love Chikorita. I love her. Like, now thinking about that one post. Which one post? Chikorita looks like a fun time gal. She looks like the kind of girl you do coke with. With what nose? Don't worry about it. It's got a sweet fragrance from the leaf. And the thing is, I think both it and Bayleaf go into, and I do put it in my salad. The titties out, still rocking the designer choker. Oh yeah, that one. You gotta bite the leaf to turn her into a Bayleaf. Oh my god. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh yeah, that one. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, hold on, hold on, hold on. If I get demonetized for this, this is all your fault. You really DGAF, you know? If I get banned on Twitch for this, it's your fault. Titties out, but still rocking that designer choker. She really knows what she's about. That smile, she really DGAF. Thickerina. She really don't give a fuck. Classics of post. Anyway, Meganium, I love Meganium. I don't know if I want to eat Meganium. That's a little too sentient for me. The decrease, the increase one? Can you send that one to me? I was just about to mention that when I got you. Hell yeah. Okay, hold on, hold on, hold on. Save. My god. Telegram will not let me save this as a GIF, so... Decrease the increase! Trying to ask the question of what a plant dinosaur would taste like. I think they're a little too sentient for me. The thing about this, okay, is that they're primarily dinosaur. But those flowers look like they would be like hibiscus-y, you know? The vines are used as herbs. Hold on. Meganium flower tea. They all go into, and I do put it in my salad. There's a reply to the post that's like, who's the sultry little bench in the bottom left? And I think about it a lot. Jesus Christ. Oh, okay. You know what? I do think these are too sentient. This is my tier list. We're moving on to Hoppip. Hey chat, are you ready for something that I did in my childhood? I named a rabbit of mine Hoppip. Yeah, we had rabbits, and I named one Hoppip. Like, look at this little baby. Also, I fucking love Sorry We're Closed soundtrack. I love this game. Whimsicott is literally a plant sheep. Well, that's why it's in the just an animal tier. This is just a fucking animal. I don't know if... Okay, chat, forgive me if you think I'm off base here. I think that I would probably go with Hoppip and Skiploom. And I do put it in my salad, and actually maybe Jumpluff as well, because these are dandelions. Have you ever had dandelion greens? Oh, would you think about Jumpluff is that it's a dandelion, or rather cottonweed, but still. Funny, Jumpluff, eat a Pepsi. Damn it, I forgot about that. Free flower soup. Whimsicott could be the cauliflower eat, my girl. No. Hoppip is absolutely the most salad tier. Exactly. And I'm thinking that, like, in terms of dandelion greens, cotton seeds are toxic to humans regardless, unless GMO. See, cotton is not edible. That. Here's where my final stand is on these. I think that Hoppip with dandelion stuff, because I am calling it, I know it's cotton, but it's dandelion and mead. Actually, yeah, this is where I'll go. The seeds have a potential bit to do harm. Alright, Sunkern. Sunkern, I do put it in my salad. That is sunflower seeds. I love sunflower seeds. It's between Daily Driver and I do put it in my salad. Sunflora. That's a flower, babes.
Hi.
Eating Sunflora is horrifying. If you think about it, eating all of these is horrifying, y'all. Imagine trying to be a fucking vegan in the Pokemon world. Alright, Celebi goes in immediately in... You know what? No, Celebi's a fucking onion, chat. Yeah, that's an onion fairy. You know, Celebi is a staple. I know it's legendary, but like, that's an onion. It's not shaped like celery, though. The whole plot of the Celebi movie was to eat the onion fairy. Alright, we got an ad break starting soon. Alright, Trico. That's sentient. Grovyle. I would also argue that Grovyle is a bit too sentient. That's a bit too cunty. The leaves are convenient for camouflage. Some salamanders can grow back limbs cut off. Here's the thing though, I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat fucking salamanders. Anyway, while we ponder this question of salamanders though, bro. I'll be right back, chat. Some Pokemon are literally the fruit, like Bonsweet, and it's fine. And it's line, yeah, like. One sec, I gotta post about this in my Discord server. So yeah, I think Grovyle is also going to go into the... Grovyle is going to go into the little too sentient tier. Sharp leaves. Bursting with nutrients to revitalize trees. I'd still think that this entire line is too sentient. Yeah, I'm gonna go actually with all of these are just animals. Lotad! That is a lily pad! Delicious. Let me see if the Pokedex says anything about Lotad edibility. It grows weak if its broadleaf dies. We eat lily pads in any culture? No. Alright, we're adding another row above. Where that's leaf. One. And Ludicolo, this entire line, do not eat. If you are a vegetarian in the Pokemon world, okay? Touching grass with the inside of my stomach. Exactly. Seedot, that's an acorn. That is an acorn. You can roast that. Yeah, lilies are generally toxic, like especially to cats. We have a Nuzleaf, I'm gonna also say, can be ground up into acorn flour. say that Shiftry probably is not super edible. Oh yeah, like water lily pods, yeah. Just imagining some Pokemon listening to their trainer saying all this and looking aghast. I'm putting Ludicolo into Poison Delicious. Because, like, if you've ever had, like, lily pods, they're delicious. But these are just straight up lily pads. Wait, Ludicolo's a fucking pineapple? Let's see. It really likes dancing. It really likes dancing. Yeah, it's like it's a lily pad and a kappa. I'm still gonna call it more like a lily pod. And Shiftry is a little too sentient for me to grind up into powder. Trimish. And I think Breloom, unfortunately, also go up here into Michelin Star staples. Those are mushrooms. Therefore, they get an automatic S tier. Although, Breloom. Breloom's a little too sentient. So what you're saying is that the Ludicolo loves Shiriko Dama? Maybe. Is poisonous? Don't worry about it. Just because they stand on two legs? Yes. Then again, that didn't stop me with Oddish. With most of these, actually. Like, I would say the Badoo also goes into, that's Poison Delicious. Maybe Shroomish and Breloom belong down there, but also... Roselia, that's also Poison Delicious. Roserade, that's also Delicious Poison. Have you ever had Rose Hip, y'all? Cacnea! And Cacturn. Y'all, you ever make cactus? Yeah, you're right. I'll throw Roserade down in poison and inedible, but because the poison hasn't fully matured, used to get this rose hip shampoo and that shit made me smell like the biggest gay slur around. Yay! I love rose smell. I love roses. But, Roserade is a Pokemon I absolutely adore. In any case, though, Cacturn and Cacnea, y'all, if you've never had cactus before, cactus is delicious. Not enough to be a daily driver vegetable, but it's still, like, really solid. Lileep. That's rock. That is made of rock. That is a fossil. It lived on the seafloor 100 million years ago and was reanimated scientifically. Like... Oh no. I don't eat rocks. Cradily, I also don't eat rocks. That's fruit, baby. Yeah, Tropius is literally a banana tree. Would that mean that it goes in Daily Driver, actually? Because, like, I don't like bananas, but I would throw it into the Daily Driver along with, you know, Exeggutor's, because those are also trees. Even if I could eat bananas more often, because I am straight up, you know, on Spyro, and that's too much potassium, I just don't like the texture. I've never been a fan of the texture of bananas, but like banana bread, tasty. Turtwig. This entire line, it's just an animal. Also, that's wood. I'm actually gonna consolidate. We don't need that. Lumber. I'm sad that she's not now because I can't make a joke that she's a snack. I mean, you can say it. You're just gonna have to, like, I don't know, reblog Big Gardevoir titties on Tumblr.com. Wormadam! That's bugs. Yeah, that's bugs. That's an actual animal. Shrimps are bugs, I know. But like, the thing is, it's a land bug. Gotcha. Alright, so we got Cherim. Michelin star staple, that's cherries. I fucking love cherries. Well, sorry, Cherubi, sorry. I love this Pokemon. Let's see. Cheerful when it blooms. And I think that you can use like a cherry blossom sort of thing. Cherim, I would say that's like not my first choice, but Cherim Bloom form, I do put that in my salad. Arnivine! I don't eat, you know, Venus flytraps. I don't know about y'all. Its stem is yellow with green spots. Let's see. Very gluttonous. Has an unruly temper. It attracts the prey it waits for with sweet-smelling saliva, then chomps down. Other plants are so... They are designed to capture tiny bugs. You know what? Not my first choice, but if it's on the menu, I'll eat it. You can technically eat a Venus flytrap, y'all. It's probably got a nice sweet scent to it, but it probably tastes a little like dirt. Alright, so we have a Snover and a Abomasnow. Edible white berries grow around its midsection. Interesting time to show up. How edible are evergreen leaves? I think that Abomasnow is gonna be in my tier of like, we don't eat that probably. But also like, you know, pine and, you know, juniper berries, things like that. Those are used in a lot of like, you know, floral herbal mixes, especially in like gin and whatnot. So I'm going Snover here, particularly for that. Young spruce needles is citrusy and make good tea. I'm probably gonna go with we don't eat that for these two here. Probably a little too sentient for me, actually. I'm not... That's a lawnmower. That's a fucking lawnmower. Like, do I need a tier just for this Rotom form? Just to be... They're probably beneficial to the plant to eat. Yeah, probably. But like, I'm not eating juniper berries. Rotom doesn't seem edible in any of its forms. No. Shaman. Arceus. Alright, we're on Gen 5 now. Snivy. You know? No. That's an animal. Oh, it's fastidious. That's an animal. Chat, that's an animal. That's a snake. That's an animal. 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 Yeah, so Waddle is also, like... It's a bug. But, like, here's the thing, okay? Did I put Wormadam in here because it's a bug, but still put, these two into, top tier because they're bugs but also mushrooms? Yes. So Waddle's a fucking leaf. All dressed in clothes they made for when it hatched. Oh. It evolves into Swadloon, which just looks so grumpy. Doesn't that look like a Brussels sprout though? Chat, like, doesn't Swadloon kind of look like a Brussels sprout? I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of tempted to say, yeah. Because it looks like a Brussels sprout, that's a daily driver. Oh, Brussels sprouts are also one of my favorites, just to clarify. Alright, we have Leavanny here, too sentient. That's a mother. Cottony! Now, Cottony, unlike Whimsicott, does not look like a sheep to me, unfortunately. It looks a little like cauliflower. I know it's a cotton puff, but like, look at this little baby. But MILFs are... Did you just... Is that how you pluralize MILFs? Listen. Listen. I never said MILFs aren't on the menu. I just won't eat them, if you get what I mean. Yeah, that is cotton. That is just straight up cotton. We can't eat that. Yeah, no, we can't eat that. Next we have Petalil. That's a bulb. That can be used in cooking usually. Eating one of these leaves is known to refresh a tired body. It's a leafy green. I do put it in my salad. Oh yeah, and there's Hisui and Lilligant too. Oh! Cute! Alright, let's look at our Pokedex entries here. This Pokemon is popular with celebrities. The fragrance of the garland on its head has a relaxing effect. You could cook a Lilligant, but would you? No! The dancer. Maractus, on the other hand. I only eat out women. Listen. I was making the joke earlier, you see, yeah? Anyway, Maractus is a cactus. Oh, there were more forms of Deerling I forgot to put in. These are made of metal. Fungus and Amoongus are fucking... Pretty sure they're chestnuts, but they're made of metal. There was one I was gonna make earlier, but I was too embarrassed. Now I can't remember what it was. Oh no! Jokes about eating women out. They might be, but also they're metal. Let's see. Take a hammer and crack them open. Its spikes are harder than steel. Bearthorn is based on a certain plant whose seeds stick to clothing, such as cockleburs, burdocks, or cleavers. You can have burdock root. Bearthorn could also be based on durians. I suppose. They could be opened. I would say that they're not my first choice, but they're if it's the only thing on the menu. That's an animal. Quilladin's a fucking animal. Chestnut's a fucking animal. Would you cook a musketeer? No. Phantump and Trevenant, I think it's called. Yeah, Trevenant. Those are wood. So, we don't eat that. Alright, Chespin. You look a little too sentient for me to eat, but like... They're dead child spirits. Yeah, but they're already dead. Imagine trying to breed them. Just how many children you're killing by hatching a bunch of eggs for Phantump. Aww. You know what? I'm gonna actually stick to my guns here. It's a little too sentient. Also based on a chestnut, shoot, or burr. Quilladin edible, no. Quilladin animal. So I'll probably just throw them all into 2 sentient. Pumpkaboo and Gourgeist, however. Pumpkaboo and Gourgeist. Those are pumpkins. Those are gourds. Those are fucking animals. That's bug. That's bug. I think I need to put some of these mushrooms into the lower tier. It's a plant that only looks like a bug. Oh. The reverse orchid mantis. You know what? I'll put them both in my salad. They're aromatics. We have a Steenie and Serena. The Mangosteen and a young girl. Because these are mangosteens, I'll throw them in daily drivers and have the fruit itself be the staple. Dhelmise is an anchor. Dhelmise is an anchor. Dhelmise is an anchor. I love Dhelmise. Will you be eating the seaweed? Would. Alright, origin. Based on a cluster of seaweed holding together the anchor and helm of a wrecked ship. I would be eating the seaweed off of it. You know what? You know what? Evergrace's OSG is so good. Yeah, I think Dhelmise is a daily driver. Y'all, I think you're underestimating how much I love seaweed. Oh, that would be so good. The Volley's an animal. That's an Ultra Beast. It's 2 sentient. Animal. 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 The fuck are you? I don't know what that is, okay? Gossifleur. Okay, so that is more cotton. We're at the part where I don't know these Pokemon because I did not play much Gen 8. I beat the game. And Eldegoss. Imenka. That's cotton. These are spicy. I'll throw them both here, because they seem more medicinal than anything else. Okay, here we go. All of these are going in Daily Driver, except for Appleton, because, that's just apple pie, baby. I do not know what those are. Says it is eaten, yeah. Oh, I know where I'm throwing, these friends here. These are just cats. I am not eating cats. Are you? Are those two? Ogre Pond? Darude. Darude and Calyrex. That's a monkey. Calyrex. Pokemon. Okay. That looks like a bunny rabbit. But also fathead. Also, they're a monarch. Oh, only one of its forms is grass. Okay. I'm putting it in. I do put it in my salad because eat the rich. Smoliv. Daily Driver. I love olives. We have Smoliv, Dolive, and Arbolivia. These are all just olives. 30 to 40 small lives is a fine meal. Then we have Bramblin and Bramblegast. These are ghost grass, which means I love them already. It's a tumbleweed. What kind of freak eats tumbleweed? I doubt any animal eats tumbleweed. Yeah, these friends are just literally jellyfish. You smoke the weed. I don't smoke tumbleweed. Toadstool and Toadstool are just animals. Hold on. They're apparently a kind of mushroom. However, they are they're separate species. They can run 30 miles an hour! Oh, that changes everything. Then we have a Scovillain, which evolves from Capsicid. Imposters and aggressors, got it. Then we have Poltergeist and Sinistra. That's all daily drivers. That's T. Here's my easy one. Bochen. That's an animal. Bochen, animal. That's a snail. Snails is bugs. Not a shell. Would you eat an ogre pawn? Those are too sentient. Those are, I think, literally animals. Then we have Viridion here. Final. We've got Mega Amoonguss. Alright, chat. We've got our list. I need to ask. What? Does the Pokedex say there are consequences for eating those? I don't know. They look like they could be drank. They're entirely unrelated. It drains the life onto food and drains the life force from those who so much as lick it. Thick tummy hort. More stirring it does with the tea whisk on its head, the more energy it builds up. It does this to prepare for battle. It can drain their life force. Hospital. I don't care, that's still tea. All good things in life kill you. Alcohol kills you. Too much salt kills you. Anyway, here's my final list. We got our Michelin star staples here. You may notice a theme. It's mostly mushrooms. We got our daily drivers here, which, you know, there's a lot of fruit in there. There's some, like, you know, plants that I would call, like, leafy greens almost. There's olives, there's tea, there's radish, there's coconut. There's vines that can be turned into, like, noodles. Here's capsaicin. Alright. We go more into seasonings for, and I do put it in my salad, as well as toppings or things that I don't conventionally usually have, like cactus meat. As well as the rich. Then we have not my first choice, but, you know, if it's the only thing on the menu, I guess, like, these are the things that I would call my, like, you know, obligatory salads of the Pokemon world. Like, if I had to eat a Carnivine, I would. If I had to pry open the meat from inside a Pharaoh Seed or Ferrothorn, I would. Now we go down to, that's poison. Delicious. That's Weepinbell, Mega Victreebel, Ludicolo, because Lily Seed Pods, Water Lily Seed Pods, Budew, and Roselia. Because, like, those are poison, but, like, you can always, like, cook with those. That's poison and edible. Normal Victreebel, I think, is not marinated enough. Roserade, its poison is lethal. And then the others are Rafflesia flowers, which are just no. And we have the don't eat that tier. The Hisuian Voltorb and Electrode, those are wood. Those are wood. The only time I eat wood is when I, you know... Am I answering a question, actually? I'm extremely gay, chat. Yeah, then we have our lily pads. Lilies in general, not great to eat. We have some, you know, tentacles here, but they're made of rock. Cotton. We don't eat cotton. We don't eat wood, again, and we don't eat fucking tumbleweeds. Then we get down to our little too sentient here, which is mostly starters alongside, like, Abomasnow. It's the technical place for Rotom lawnmower form because, I don't know, like, Chat, do I need to tell you to not eat a fucking lawnmower? Leavanny, Lilligant, those are also very, like, sentient. And then we get to a category that is actually bigger than I expected, which is, that's just an animal. Couldn't hear you over the sound of eating a lawnmower. Did you turn it off first? You're supposed to turn it off before you eat it.
Hi.
Hello, Scarfire. Yeah, here's all the Pokemon that I think are too animals to eat. You get more flavor while it's running? Is that flavor iron? Because that might be your blood. You know what? Who am I to argue with free seasoning? But yeah, this is how I would rank all grass-type Pokemon as a vegetarian. What are your thoughts, chat? What have we learned here today? Have we learned that I'm going to the hospital? Mushrooms are delicious even if they're Pokemon. Exactly. Cat, there's so many kinds of edible mushrooms out there. Am I able to confirm that any of these mushrooms are edible? No. Am I going to tell you to go eat any mushroom you see? No. I can't have that weight on my conscience. If you want somebody to tell you that poisonous mushrooms are edible, just ask ChatGPT. But yeah. Thank you, Theo, for the tier list. And this is actually a short day for the Nuzlocke. And that's because I have plans this afternoon. But I want you to know that I'm going to be back with the Nuzlocke again on Tuesday. Especially because I am missing next Saturday's stream. Because it is Secrets of Strixhaven pre-release next week. So I'm going to be busy with that next Saturday. This was still a pretty fun stream to join in on. I'm glad to hear. Tomorrow, though, we will be joining... Well, we will be finishing up a Funny Raccoon game. It's funny. It's a raccoon game. I think it's neat. I'm gonna toss y'all at my friend Spoonie, who is currently doing a Yume Nikki Rando to raise money for Gamers Outreach. So let's toss y'all at them. Here's our raid message. I will be back tomorrow with Funny Raccoon Game, and most likely Tuesday, I will be back to finish off what we started today, which was our Nuzlocke Day 5. Alright, the Cat Cafe is closed for today, but we will always welcome you back again another day. If you want to follow me on social media, you can do so at proxyglitchcat.bsky.social or follow me proxy with 2rs.bandcamp.com. You can join the Discord. The link should be appearing in chat. You can also follow my VOD channel on YouTube. There are daily uploads, like legitimately daily ass uploads. All right, I'm gonna head out. See you later. Bye-bye. Yeah.